Hi everyone, Jacqueline here. So today I am going to update my containers. And the reason I'm updating my containers, I actually got some plants on sale for like 75% off. So some of them were like 50, 75 cents, $1. So I figured, hey, I might as well put them to good use. They're just going to go in the garbage at the store anyhow. And I'm just going to throw a few in these pots where I can find space. And I'm going to do it a little bit unorthodox because I cannot find my little shovel. So I'm going to be using a tablespoon. So this is what us gardeners do. We improvise when we can't find our supplies. So I'm going to be digging with my tablespoon. So that seems pretty unorthodox, but hey, that's just the way it goes. I'm going to have to pick up a new couple of hand shovels and that because I just don't know where they've went this year. I'm just having so much fun with shovels. I don't know why. I used to have 3 or 4. Now I can't find any. I'm wondering if they're ending up somehow in the recycle bin or something. But anyhow, let's look at these pots and figure out what needs to be done. So I'm going to go to the end here and we're going to start right here. And it's nice because it's shaded here. We have a super windy day, you guys, so you'll have to forgive me if it seems if the audio's not the greatest. It is really windy and it is smoky. You can see it through the trees and everything. It's just really bad. We have a football game here tonight. It's our Labor Day Classic, Winnipeg and Saskatchewan playing, which is a really good game, always sold out and everything. In fact, I picked up munchies and stuff. We're going to have some nachos and some things for supper and salads and things. I use my tomatoes and that. So it's going to be really nice. We're kind of making it a date night, Rob and I. But let's stick to the task at hand here. The bees are still around. You can see here. Hard at it. Okay, so we're going to go through these pots. I'm going to cut some stuff back and prune them, and then I'm going to see if I can find space to put some plants in each one of these. This one's fairly full, but we'll see if I need to keep these petunias or not, or if I should remove them because they aren't looking good. But I'm going to try to keep these going as long as I can. And the reason I feel it's okay to update them is we're supposed to have a really hot September. So I think it's worth it. We're not quite ready for fall decorations yet, although I have the urge. Like this pot here, I don't know that we're going to be able to fit anything into it. We will cut some stuff back again. Yes, we're cutting back again. But I think we can cut the coleus and stuff down and clean it up a bit and see if there's any space there. But, you know, they don't look too bad. Anything under the tree seems to be doing better, except the wind came and snapped some of the coleus the other day again. This pot, I think, needs more help. You can see here, it's a little spindly here, so I'll probably clean up this side, prune her back, clean up the geraniums a little bit, cut off, do any deadheading that needs to be done here. If we look at this one, this is the one where I did pull some of the petunias out, although they are coming back. You can see here and that, but we do have a gap here, so that's perfect. We can put some stuff in there. And this coleus has faded so bad and taken a beating, we're going to cut it back. And then lastly, but not the least, is the last pot here. And lots of geranium buds on this, lots of bad looking leaves on it. It just needs a major cleanup, and we'll try to shove a few things in here. When I look at these pots, I'm like, oh, they really are still quite full. I am surprised, but I have a bunch of stuff to put in them. So let's have a look. So I have the non-stop begonias here. These are Prelude Scarlets, and they're looking a little bit on the yellow side, but I think I can fit them in. I do have one. This is a Blue Daddy Petunia. I can put that in to a gap. I guess that'll probably go in this one here that has the biggest gap. And then I just picked up some miscellaneous plants I thought would be fun. These here are Proven Winners Silver Bullets. So I'm going to put them in. And these are all annuals. I believe this is an annual too. And it is easy care, it likes it dry, full sun, good to -26. Yeah, this is an annual. I wish it was a perennial. It'd be nice to keep these year round. Full sun. So I got a bunch of them here, so I probably won't use them all up. This one here intrigued me. I've never planted this one before. See if I can find a tag on it. I don't see any tag here. Let's pull one out. And the reason I like this one, to me it looks like some sort of maybe impatient, but I like the foliage. I really think the foliage is pretty. So when it gets in the full sun, it might even be a brighter purple. So we're going to plant some of these in for some height. So that's the plan, is to touch them up. And then I'm going to come through with my fertilizer because I want to use this up this year. This is the hen fertilizer here. And we're going to put some more in the pots, and then I'm just going to water them in good. So we're going to touch these all up. So let's get started. We're just going to work our way around, put the tall items in first, and then I'm going to add some begonias. So we're going to take these out. And I'm just going to dig this one right here where we got this big gap. And aim it out. And push it in good. I'm just pushing some of the dirt off of it to put it in. And then we're going to add silver in there. So we're going to add this silver bullet in here. And I just want these pots full. And I know I can add more to some and less to others because we got some pots that are actually still fairly full. So I just watered these and gave them a good soak quickly. And I'm just picking off the dead. They will bounce back, so I'm not too concerned. We're just going to pop that out like that. Look at the roots on that. It definitely needs to be planted. And then I'm just going to stick it right down in there. Right there. Right on this side here. We're going to aim it out as well. Oh, these pots are getting really dry. I'll be able to water them in nicely after this though. And then I'm going to put the begonia in, and this is the Prelude Scarlet. They don't look too bad, you guys. They're a little yellow, the odd stem that could use a bit of a cleaning. So I'll just pick off any of the dead debris on them. And the only reason I'm doing this is because I found some cheap plants, and I thought, what the heck? I wanted to give you guys some color, so you can see that's quite pretty in there. So that'll go right there. And we'll put one right over here. See how that's perking up? It really does work. And then we'll put one on the other side too. Right over here. I probably could fit another one actually. Right in here. Maybe even more. I got a lot of these. All right, so you can see them all in there. They look really good. That really does fill in the gaps. And you know, if we get hit by a frost, it doesn't matter because these were just to keep the color going as long as we can. But I don't think that's going to be an issue. Our forecast is hot. So now I'm putting some of the granular fertilizer in just to give them some life. And then I'm going to water them in good. And just putting this all the way around. I still think Miracle-Gro is a better fertilizer, both granular and liquid. But I had this on hand and I figured, we'll use it up. And we'll just give this a good watering. Doesn't that look better, you guys? A lot more color here. If we go down to the other side, you'll see more color on the other side. Right here. And then from a distance, it just looks overall much better. And you can see we still have our, basically our millet flowers at the top, our stems, our leaves, And we have some color in there now. So it's filled in again. Let's go on to the next one. For this one, we're just going to go ahead and I'm going to pinch off all the geraniums that are spent and just right down at the stem. There, you can see them. They're dropping flowers if I shake them. And then we're going to cut off the tops of these. See how far I have to go down to get new shoots. There. It'll also keep them from being snapped all the time. So we'll just cut them back and pick off these. Petunias are still looking good here. You can see them. So I'm leaving them and just picking off the geranium leaves that don't look good. I will cut this petunia back. There. You can see what I cut off. That cleans that right up. So this is the petunia that I was saving for this pot. So I'm just going to put it right there where I have that gap. You'll see right down there. And we'll plop it in. It doesn't look too bad. There's a little bit of dead leaves on it, so we'll just pick those off to clean it up. And I'm going to pinch off the spindly stuff right here. I'm going to pin that back right to there. Take those off. You got to take these off too because they tell it to go dormant. And I take that flower off because it's kind of wobbly. Pick that. And we're going to plant this in like this. There's only one plant in this pot, but it's good enough for color. Now I'm going to fertilize that in. So I put some granular fertilizer in here again. And we're just going to throw some in there. Keep it going. And I'm just throwing handfuls in. I'm not going to scratch it in because the pot is so full. And then I water it in. I do have some Miracle-Gro in my water. Liquid fertilizer too. So that will also help. And I just have a spoonful of that in here. I have some I want to use up. And I don't mind getting the leaves wet when I do fertilizing because the leaves will absorb the fertilizer through. So this one is in really, really good shape. You can see we have lots of green growth. The millet looks really good. So what I'm going to come through here and do is I'm just going to go ahead and just prune some of it back. Because I'm not going to go and put plants when it's not needed. So I'm just going to prune the pansies back. Petunias that are looking a little spent, just going to cut them back. Can you believe I'm pruning again? Some of these plants just did really well. Even with all the wind this year, they have done really, really well. Take off any spent stems that aren't doing anything underneath here. Pull them out. Any dead leaves, we're just going to take them off. And I'll just spin it so you guys can see how the other side's looking. Take those off. Cut the Gazana back. Cut off the dead. You can cut them or you can snap them. I do both. Like I said, if you can shake them and the petals fall off, they need to be pruned or deadheaded. Any leaves that don't look good, we're going to take them off. Same with over here, anything that's been busted from the wind. Not bad. This one I'm really happy with. But that's what happens when they're protected. They do better. Just looking for any bad leaves down here, you know, like this. All right, and we're gonna add some fertilizer and just fertilize this one in. Pick off a little more of the dead that's there. And it should be good. Cut off anything that looks crappy on the leaves, like those. And you can cut the ends off. That's what I do with houseplants too. I will just cut those nasty ends off if they look bad, you know. You can see just like that. All right. Now you can see how it's looking at the top, how it's looking at the bottom. So let's fertilize it in. And we're going to give it a spin toward the sun, which I like to do with my pots all the time. I like to spin them around. And I really like to prune these back when the wind is so bad. And this is a good time because these are going to snap again with this wind. You can see it here that they're really leaning. So we'll just get rid of some of these. We aren't going to be able to put any plants in this one because this one is still extremely full. And I'm just going to cut these back right down like that. Then the wind can't take it off. And we'll go over here and do the same on this side. You can see how that was going to snap. It's getting brittle. This side here is really, really full. I'm impressed, but we're going to take the geranium off just because it's spent. And I'm just going to pinch back the petunias again and take those knobs off that aren't doing anything. And then I'm going to spin it. And it needs a really good watering. That's it for this video. I just wanted to give you guys some color, and since I was able to find some cheap plants, it was perfect timing, and now we cleaned them all up. They look really good. Let me know in the comments what you think. I think this plant is doing the best out of all of them. It's got lots of green foliage, lots of buds, and petunias are still alive and well in it. So I think, and the coleus looks really nice deep green there too, since I cut it back. So I think this one is looking the best out of all of them. Then as we go down the line, this would be the next one that's looking still very full. I didn't have to add anything to it. Petunias and everything are looking good. Mosquitoes are biting me. This one's the worst. For whatever reason, it's more out in the open, I think. And then this one, I think, gets more shade than the rest. And maybe that's why it needed some help. Plus, it probably gets a lot more wind maybe from that comes down the street. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. And let me know how your plants are doing in your garden. Are you still keeping some pots going, or have you decided to retire your pots for this season? Love to hear from you. Thanks, everyone. Take care. Bye.